framework for tax overhaul would slash corporate rate to 20%. Rate for pass-through businesses would be capped at 25%. President Donald Trump and Republican leaders projected unity, and won initial approval from conservative groups, as they announced a long-awaited tax plan that would represent a major legislative win this year. Trump called the framework a revolutionary change that will spur economic growth and higher wages for average workers during a speech in Indiana Wednesday afternoon. "It will be the largest tax cut in our country's history," he said. "For all of us, this is a now or never moment," House Speaker Paul Ryan said at a press conference formally unveiling the tax plan. "We can finally get this done." The plan set off immediate debate over how much top earners would benefit. The framework that GOP leaders released proposes cutting the top individual rate to 35%, but leaves it up to Congress to decide whether to create a higher bracket for those at the top of the income scale. Mute current time 0:00 duration time 0:00 loaded, 0% progress, 0% stream type live remaining time 0:00 playback rate 1 chapters captions settings, opens captions settings dialog captions off, selected captions. This is a modal window. No compatible source was found for this media. Caption settings dialog beginning of dialog window. Escape will cancel and close the window. Text color white transparency opaque background color black transparency opaque window color black transparency transparent font size 50% text edge style non-font family proportional sans-serif. Ryan says this is a now or never moment for tax reform. Ryan says this is a now or never moment for tax reform. Share embed permalink. The rate on corporations would be set at 20%. Down from the current 35%. Trump had previously called for a 15% corporate rate, but told reporters Wednesday that he did so only in order to achieve the 20% figure in negotiations with Congress. He called 20% a perfect number, and a red line that was non-negotiable. Under the framework, businesses would be allowed to immediately write off their capital spending for at least 5 years. Pass-through businesses would have their tax rate capped at 25%. U.S. Stocks surged, the dollar extended gains and treasuries slumped on speculation the plan will become law this year. The plan sets out 3 tax brackets for individuals, 12%, 25% and 35%, down from the existing 7 rates, which top out at 39.6%. But that's not firmly set, as congressional tax writing committees will be given flexibility to add a 4th rate for the highest earners, an effort to prevent the overhaul from providing too much of a benefit for the wealthy. Panel's plans. There's significant support among Republican members of the tax writing House Ways and Means Committee to create a special top income tax bracket for the highest earners, according to a GOP member of the panel who asked not to be named because discussions are private. Still, House Ways and Means Chairman Kevin Brady of Texas has said he's committed to offering across-the-board tax relief. Trump has repeatedly said he's focusing on middle-class individuals. At the same time, though, the tax plan calls for repealing the alternative minimum tax, the estate tax and the generation-skipping estate tax, all of which would be a boon for higher earners and the wealthy. The Republican tax reform plan will turbocharge the economy, create millions of new jobs and make America the best place in the world to invest, build and create, said Grover Norquist, the anti-tax advocate who runs the group Americans for Tax Reform. It was one of several conservative groups that expressed support for the framework. Senator Bernie Sanders slammed the plan as providing hundreds of billions in tax breaks to the wealthiest people and most profitable corporations in this country. It is particularly obscene to repeal the estate tax that would provide a $269 billion tax break to the top 0.2%, said Sanders, a Vermont independent who caucuses with Senate Democrats. The release of the plan is the result of a months-long process to craft a tax overhaul that was a key promise in Trump's campaign. But it marks only the start of what could be a brutal fight in Congress among lawmakers who disagree on key elements of the framework. One influential skeptic has been Senate Finance Committee Chairman Orrin Hatch, a Utah Republican, who pledged his committee would not be a rubber stamp for the plan. Other Republicans cheered the plan. At first glance, the policies released today are good news to the American people, Representative Mark Walker of North Carolina, chairman of a large conservative caucus, said in statement. We need to begin acting on this framework legislatively as soon as possible. The tax effort begins one day after Senate leaders decided not to move forward with a vote on Rep.